I guess for a cold open, you guys can make fun of me. We haven't done that in a while.
We are kind of overdue for that.
Yeah.
Actually, counter idea. Let's make fun of Josiah.
Ooh.
What do you think? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do your worst. Good luck.
You're single? No.
Um,
You're not. You're definitely taking. Shoot.
okay. You've only got a bachelor's degree. No, he's about to graduate with his master's
That's
degree.
No, I really like that sweatshirt.
You've got a flabby jawline, chiseled.
Sharp as a razor.
You're stupid. No, you're actually one of the smartest people I know.
32 on the ACT. That really got me far. That really got me far when I joined the Air Force out of high school. You can roast me for that.
You joined the Air Force. Paid for college.
Served your country proudly.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support. Yeah. That was one of the first things they taught us at basic training was how to respond when people say thank you for your service.
You just whipped that one out the other day in public.
Where was that?
At the
garage sale?
At the Norquist family garage sale. Somehow the conversation of veterans came up and you're like, oh, you were a veteran? Yep, I was in the Air Force. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your support.
And no, I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I actually mean it. Thank you for your support. Yeah. So
it sort of feels like this idea backfired.
It did.
My self-esteem is at an all-time high.
We got nothing.
Your eyes look really nice
I'm
tonight.
Glowing. Your eyes look really pretty.
Yeah.
Clandestine. The only thing I guess is welcome back to the Good Chill Hunting Podcast. How do you like them apples? It is a shallow week for what we're watching. I'll start because Josiah and Riley have their own thing to get into.
Well, I watch another movie. You can go ahead.
Josiah's like, I watched another movie. No, that's not what he sounds like.
No, he sounded so confident.
I watched Jumanji, the first one.
What year was
the original? 1995, directed by Joe Johnson, who directed Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, very weird.
That's a fun fact.
I gave Jumanji 3 stars. I feel like, unless you grew up with it, I don't think it's higher than a 3-star movie.
We did grow up with it.
We didn't.
I watched it. Or
No,
we watched parts of it.
Growing up, we did watch part of it. We were in John Hughes's van. It was a big green van because Riley, we're hanging out. We're going to some sort of event, maybe the Honda Fair, in the backseat. And it's a big van with a center aisle and everything. It had a television.
A little CRT built into it.
With a VHS player.
Yeah.
And Riley's like, I'm about to show you guys this movie called Jumanji. And Josiah and I are like, I hope it's not scary.
Hope it doesn't give us nightmares.
And so the movie starts and it gets to the scene where Alan and the girl, he gets sucked into the game and he's like,
which is like one of the first scenes. Like that's the first act.
Like 15 minutes in. Yeah, he's and I just remember me and Josiah like, turn it off. And I remember Tammy, Riley's stepmom, was just like like turning it off.
I don't know if I remember that. That's our first exposure to body horror.
That definitely, that's how I remember it. Maybe that's not how you reacted, but I remember just being like, stop the movie. And the whole rest of the car ride was just like, I'm just like rocking in the backseat.
Like, I need to rethink my friends.
Yeah. Riley's like, what's the problem?
You're like trying to sell us on it beforehand. They're like, it's scary. It's got like, I don't know what it's in there, like a lion, and it's got like spiders and stuff. And Noah just like gets scared by the spaghettification of the main character.
The CGI in this movie is not good. It's 1995, but it didn't age well, and thought the movie was kind of slow. Robin Williams is the highlight.
He's a highlight in every movie.
Yeah.
I remember watching Robots.
He's a goat.
A few years ago. Robots, it's a fine movie, but I remember Robin Williams was a huge standout as Fender.
Not a standout in Insomnia, but you could blame him.
1 hour photo. I think that's on my watch list. I want to see that sometime.
Yeah. So Jumanji's 3 stars. I like Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to Jungle is really good.
It is really good.
It's funny.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
What have you guys been watching?
I watched Paddington. That was on my watch list. First time seeing that one. I give it 3.5 stars. I've been told that Paddington 2 is where the series shines.
Yeah, it has like a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it has all the reviews are like ripe or not rotten, and even the unbearable weight of massive talent like praises Paddington 2.
Is that without spoiling it? Can you like the first movie? I mean, it's a very simple movie. Very warm, fuzzy, family friendly.
I love what I'm hearing.
Doesn't I don't know. It's pretty.
It's not reinventing the wheel or anything.
And
I don't.
it's a
Not
good
that it
movie. So
meant
like,
to.
what does the second movie do without spoiling it? Like that makes it so much more.
I honestly,
Spoilers for Paddington 2.
I honestly don't remember a whole lot. I know like kind of what happens, but it's been a while.
You gave the first one 4.5 stars.
I think I gave the second one 4.5 too.
Noah you gave it 3.5, and I feel like 3.5 is a pretty fair. It's just a very nice movie, and that's what everybody says, and I'll say it as well. It's just nice. It almost feels like a Wes Anderson movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Not in like not in the symmetry, but in the quirkiness and in the colors, in some of the dialogue.
Yeah, I gave Paddington 2 4.5. So.
In the first one?
Yep.
Are you going to see Paddington in Peru?
I've heard. I mean,
I want to.
I feel like that's probably. I haven't heard any bad things.
I guess I have no choice.
Yeah.
I feel like those are just feel good movies. Like you feeling like you need a feel good movie.
Yeah.
Put on Paddington.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was I was kind of saving that one for a rainy day. And it paid off.
Hold the mic up to the window.
We are the ASMR Good Chill Hunting episode.
Welcome back to the podcast. How do you like them apples?
So yeah, Paddington. I'll watch the second one sometime. Glad I watched it. Not much else to say.
The moment of truth.
But yeah, so
Last week,
Riley and I lost trivia, and
Everyone knew what would happen.
Noah, I did note. I mean, you speed ran that season of trivia. I think you won all 3 in a row.
If we have our list of Good Chill Hunting achievements or the leaderboard, I have the fastest season win.
I think so, because before that it was Grilled, and that was not that long
That really
ago.
was
No.
That was just the beginning of April that we watched that.
but someone had one win, and then Noah.
I
won
had
the
one win.
Yeah, and
but
Noah-
I think Noah got
yeah.
3 in a anyway. But yeah, Noah made us watch 2022's analog horror Skinamarink.
Analog horror. Let's give a brief definition.
Analog horror by if I were to throw out some buzzwords that defined analog horror.
Their YouTube is like predominantly they're like episodic normally, but it's a lot of like not security camera footage,
But like like CRT,
fuzzy screen,
fuzzy radio broadcast,
static
transmission.
in the background,
Yeah, really heavy grain or static.
very kind of slow pace. It's
Kind of-
more about the feel.
It's like just
Lets you sit there and just like builds dread, or that's the idea.
in the way that sort of technology is nostalgic. The movies are usually they take place in like the 20th century, 80s, 90s. Skinamarink takes place in 1995.
This is the year Jumanji came out. Were the kids watching Jumanji?
They were watching some.
You see the TV in the movie.
You know, it's like this is a horror.
I'm watching Skinamarink, but then that comes on. I'm like,
But if we want to share our reviews, so going into this, we knew that Skinamarink. If you have not heard of it, you should know that it is a very polarizing movie. Some people are like, this is a specimen of horror. This like does something super fresh,
never done before. Like it's one of a kind.
and then that's like maybe from like the critics or the refined movie watchers, and then the rest of us think it's a load of hogwash. And so I gave it 1.5 stars.
I gave it half a star.
So when I recommended this movie, I knew it was polarizing, and that was kind of the enticing draw. I knew Riley wasn't going to like it because it's not a Riley movie. But Josiah's not maybe watch analog horror, but is more familiar. And I thought maybe that familiarity alone would be enough to gain more interest in the movie.
Yeah, and that's where
the extra star came in.
That's where I would agree that like where this movie, it feels like it's going somewhere. It's just like if you can like kind of build some momentum, like I'm on board. But it just kind of just like throws in a little piece of tension, little piece of special effects, very modest special effects, and it just.
Why are you shaking your head?
I hated this movie.
Riley hated this movie. Go ahead.
This is probably the most boring movie. It's probably comparable to watching paint dry in movie format. It's literally you're just staring
give
at
the audience like a ever so brief synopsis of what actually happens.
Okay,
nothing.
The Letterboxd thing. The summary is that two kids, Kevin and Kaylee, they're going to bed, and their dad is at home, and then their dad disappears, and then the windows and doors that like lead to the outside of their house disappear. Super awesome concept.
Yes.
And that's like, what are you going to do with that? It kind of almost sounds like a House of Leaves, sort of like trapped.
Josiah and I read House of Leaves.
That was a experience.
I did not care for that book.
Anyway, so it's just like an awesome premise. But if you don't even necessarily catch on that the windows and doors disappear.
Because he calls 911 and says that.
Yeah, and there's some very primitive special effects that demonstrate that the doors and windows and the toilet goes missing. So it's just a lot of like literally static shots of the ceiling or the hallway or the
TV.
You don't see the kids' faces.
No.
You don't see faces. You only see below the neck. And so the whole movie. Here's the thing. I wanted to say this, and this is kind of based off of some other people's reviews, but this is my take. This movie is like a Rorschach test, inkblot test, projective. What you get out of it is really what you read into it. And so the people who are leaving 4.5, 5-star reviews for this movie are saying it's horrifying because the horror comes from within. You attribute to it that which you find most fearful in your own life. And
sounds terrifying.
It's like if that's true, if you are bringing that into it and therefore it's scary, just as much is true if you are not reading into it in that way, then you are not receiving it in that way.
There was no talking to girls, so I didn't find it scary.
I was like,
I find no fear in this situation.
Yeah. It's just darkness, okay? Turn on the light.
Turn on the light. What's going on?
I didn't lose power.
So that's where a lot of people like give it higher ratings because they're like, oh, this is so avant-garde. This is so cutting edge.
And I feel like it kind of like almost gets me there. There's a scene where they walk into the room and like the dad's sitting on the bed.
Yeah.
And they look underneath the bed.
Yeah.
I think that's the best scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, you're just staring at something.
That scene wasn't good enough to bump it up from half star to 1 star.
They kept building up to
it's so
something.
boring.
It was building up to something that I don't think much ever paid off. One thing that I thought was cool, they do utilize the CRT TV. They have some...
Yeah, they watch Jumanji.
Yeah, some open source or public domain cartoon footage from like the 20s and 30s. And I think what they do is kind of cool. The kids are just watching the cartoons, but the cartoons are always kind of paralleling what is happening to the kids. So there's a spider wrapping up these flies into his web, and that you kind of like, oh yeah. And then there's like on repeat, there's a footage of this dog about to attack this rabbit, and the rabbit does a little Bugs Bunny sort of deal, and he closes and makes himself disappear, and that kind of goes along with like some of the stuff in the house was disappearing. So I thought that was kind of neat. I don't feel like,
is it kind of neat enough to make it better than a 1.5 star movie?
No, that's what got it to a 1.5 star.
if that was like 20 minutes of this movie, but it's an hour 40. There's 100 minutes of nothing happening.
I was like, I cannot stress this enough.
And that's what's funny. They play the credits. They roll the credits, which takes
140 minutes.
Oh, 100
2 hours and 20
hour 40.
Hour 40
Hour 40. My bad.
But they do the credits at the beginning, and because it's such a small production, it takes like 30 seconds. But then it's just funny because then the rest of the movie, you're like, we're going to the 140 minute mark because there's no credits to pad the end time.
Yeah.
So like the entire time you're just like, mind you, Riley and I raw dogged this. We did not. Phone.
Were you pausing the screen at all?
That's what I'm saying.
You didn't either.
Well, the first night it was 9:30, and the movie put me to sleep. So I had to start. I had to start where I left off because I was.
You had to start over from the beginning.
No, please, no, please.
Wait. No. Wait.
I mean, I found myself, and I said this in my Letterboxd review, like, because I was almost in a sensory deprivation chamber where I didn't have any distractions, I found myself trying to engage with the movie. I was just like, what is this symbolizing? Where is this going? And like, that's where it kind of bumped it up a little bit. Like, at least this movie got me to think, and that's partially just attributed to how I engaged with it. But I just feel like it didn't pay off.
Fascinating.
I don't know why you picked us to watch this. Well, I know why you picked for us to watch it, but I feel like after talking about it now, you have no reason to watch it yourself.
Yeah, I know exactly how I'm going to react to it.
Yeah.
Just stare at that corner of the ceiling right there for 100 minutes, okay? Then maybe look at the TV for a little bit, okay?
Time starts now.
Yeah.
And then the occasional
Kaylee.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Just an observation. They do there's built-in subtitles because the kids are hard to understand, but the subtitles are not there. They're there 50% of the time. So the other 50%, like,
I'm just like, what would you just
what
say?
are you saying? Like, it's so gargly and whispery and grainy. Like, there's
Is that the idea? It's like
maybe
not supposed
What
to?
is
I
the
don't
idea?
think so.
I don't know.
It's incredibly grainy. That's like a big critique that people online have left. It's just like so fuzzy. You cannot tell what's going on. Again, that's the artistic direction. That's what they're going for. But it's like, that doesn't mean it works.
Are you guys going to watch any other horror movies with your 1 month of Shudder subscription?
It's on Hulu.
It's on
apparently.
Hulu.
I rented it on Amazon. I didn't know it was on Hulu. Yeah, we did not support Shudder with this. Viewing.
It's a $15K budget. I don't know how it cost $15,000, but it made $2 million. Like, good for them.
That's a really good return.
Yeah.
on investment.
Horror is the genre to,
I guess
just unimaginably multiply
Paranormal
your money.
Activity.
There was a
Get
glitch.
Out.
It was at a
Blair
film
Witch.
festival screening online, and it glitched, and people were able to download it, and then it started spreading on TikTok and YouTube. That's how the word,
Glitch.
the word, kind of like the leak of Deadpool, maybe. And it was shot over 7 days. So
Seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yep.
That's funny.
I mean, if nothing else, it's a very neat.
Oh yeah, I'm
movie.
glad I watched it. I mean, as I said with Mystery Men, it's just like, it's the bad movies that really make me consider, like, well, what is it that I take for granted on a
Josiah's
good
like
movie?
writing his movies like, okay, so we're not gonna watch paint dry.
Okay, so we are going to have the camera move.
Yeah.
We're gonna make the dialogue legible.
We're not
Show my characters.
and don't have 3 to 5 layers of film grain added. Check. Yeah.
This movie's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
More than
We are
100
off to an
words.
awesome start.
Check.
Writing movies is easy.
Yeah.
It should have been a short film. So
I think it was a short film.
That's
It was
what I-
called Heck. I think it was like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
What the
Skinamarink.
heck?
Where does the name come from? Did you see that in your research? at all?
it's a preschool song, but
Skinamarink.
Okay, I know
but
that,
he,
but like,
he spelled it wrong so kids wouldn't look up. his movie.
yeah. But like, how did that play into the?
How thoughtful
Film.
of him.
Well, I don't.
I didn't
why
know
are you
if-
asking me?
I didn't know because you have
Let's watch a paint dry. Let me.
you had
see,
done
let
all
me-
the other
let me see
research.
my
I thought
notes.
maybe you had found that.
Riley's like, I'm so angry right now.
Because there's no, otherwise in the film
100
there's
minutes
no
of nothing?
use of that word or indication of a child. I guess the movie's about kids. It's kind of some of the horror is from like the vulnerability of being a child and not being able to go to an adult.
Maybe they just thought Skinamarink was a really cool title. And
Well,
frankly,
no doubt.
Can't argue.
No, yeah, I think.
I mean, the movie did make me think of like the times as a child you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like,
I think that's part of the idea.
yeah, I wasn't able to immerse myself from that point of view,
Yeah.
but the people who on Letterboxd who gave it higher ratings also said like it was reminiscent of that. So we had a friend give it 3.5 stars to watch it, which is like good for him.
I there's a film critic I follow on Letterboxd. He watched it one time, gave it 1 star, and somehow decided to watch it again, and then gave it 3.5 the second time, which is wild.
I win. I win the next season trivia. I'm like Skinamarink again. No, and you guys come back. So it's like a 4-star movie now.
I just feel like
Garnered a lot
you
more.
really got to stare at the paint for
Yeah.
100 or an hour 50 minutes to really get it.
What tint of blue is that?
Yeah.
Paint.
It's a cyan. Yeah. So
that episode. You guys reviewed a second time. Riley's just got a Skinamarink shirt. I kind of love Skinamarink now.
kind of in on it. So new season of trivia then.
We're all at
Very
2.
good. Yeah, we're all at. We are a very egalitarian.
Who's the
podcast.
first to get the 3?
So, but before we move on, we're going to do another hashing of quick 5. Noah's in the electric chair.
I'm gonna ride the lightning.
Question number 1: what song do you currently have on repeat?
3 a.m. by Matchbox 20.
Noah
It
transported
just says,
to the 90s.
baby, it's 3 a.m.
That's because Noah has a baby and he's awake at 3 a.m.
I've played that song to my child, and he's just like, baby.
Or that starts 3 a.m.
It starts to rain around here.
I feel like you're listening to a lot of Creed.
I'm
too.
stealing this
A
from
lot of Creed.
question number 2. I'm stealing this from Josiah's girlfriend. What would be your Letterboxd for TV shows?
She did ask that.
Interesting. I think we have to put Avatar, The Last Airbender, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Seinfeld. I never watched Seinfeld growing up, but then Kenzie watched it, and so we watched it together. We've watched it a couple times. Arrested Development, maybe. What are some other shows that
Community. The Office.
Community unfortunately would
Gravity
not be-
Falls.
We watched Game
Gravity
of Thrones,
Falls,
but
Game of Thrones.
Arcane.
Arcane. Yeah, we'll put Arcane in there.
nice, good top 4.
Question number 3: if you could go back and watch one movie for the first time, what would it be?
That's an interesting question because a lot of movies for me are better the second time around. So what is a movie that is peak the first time? I mean, Avengers Endgame
Yeah.
Yeah.
is
But
the
you'd have to watch it
easy-
in theaters. Well, maybe you wouldn't have to, but seeing it again for the first time in theaters, I feel like would be different than seeing it for the first time again at home.
Yeah. That's probably my answer though. That movie had such a grip. I had such a visceral reaction watching that movie.
I remember sitting by you. It was great
I
mean,
mean,
that
if
movie.
Riley was like, yes, then I was probably like, let's go.
When Cap gets the Thor's hammer, the video of the kid who solves the Rubik's Cube in record time. Well, look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. No, that's Noah.
Noah, sit down right now. Avengers Endgame, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Question number 4: Josiah just committed a crazy crime, and now the cops are looking for him, but they blame you because you're his twin, and you're put on the death penalty. What was your last meal?
Why I'm in the electric chair?
Why did he have all that setup? You could have just asked the question.
Riley's like, it's December 3rd, 1998. My last meal,
Yeah.
Noah's like, hot dog.
hot dogs and mac and cheese. My mother makes delicious chicken and noodles. And for all of our not Central Ohio listeners, chicken and noodles is a delicious meal.
On a bed of mashed potatoes.
On a bed of mashed potatoes. Probably have like a dinner roll with it. People outside of Central Ohio don't know what chicken and noodles are. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's just an us thing. So probably chicken and noodles. And I get dessert.
Yeah.
Probably my mom's chocolate chip cookies.
Nice.
I've discovered in life.
Scotch rhubards?
No, chocolate chip cookies.
What are you having for drink?
I was like, just water.
I'll probably be pretty thirsty.
Don't want to have an upset stomach when I'm on the electric chair.
Maybe like a Barks root beer.
Nice.
I'll probably go to Dr. Pepper. Question number 5. You got a kidney stone at the age of 26. Why?
Probably because I don't drink enough water. Because I drink too much Barks root beer. As for why, it's probably because I didn't drink enough water and drank too much caffeine, which is diuretic. And so therefore my kidneys are working in overtime. But the story there is that I ran a 10K and I didn't
This was 2 years ago?
2 years.
Almost.
Almost 3 years ago, 3 years and a couple months. Ran 10K. I don't think I properly rehydrated afterwards. And I woke up at 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. I must have a kidney stone is basically how it was. I woke up. I had this sharp pain in my left side.
You're like, why is my eyesight grainy right now?
Where are all the doors and windows? No, I woke up in the middle of the night and my side hurt so bad and I paced the halls of the house and I was like, this isn't getting better. So I woke Kenzie up and we went to the emergency room because it hurt so bad. They're like, you've got a kidney stone in there. I'm like, is this because I'm not drinking enough water and drinking too much caffeine? They're like, yeah, that's exactly it. And then it passed and I've not had another one since. But mom had got one like a year later.
A month later. You had yours in 2023 and mom's was like a month later.
It was not a month later. It was at least 6 months later.
No, it factually was not.
It was not a month later.
It was 2 months later.
It was. I kind of want to call mom.
5 years
It
later.
was in August. I was in my summer classes. Yours was in June.
Call her.
You got your phone on you?
No,
yours
it's
is
recording. Oh. She's not gonna. Is she gonna remember? Okay. Hey, wait. What are the stakes here? Noah has to watch Skinamarink if he loses.
Oh, I like it.
And if okay, let's get specific here. You're saying it was a month after. You're saying it was August.
Yours was in June. I'm saying it was in July or August.
No, one month.
No, you said it was plus 6 months. That gives me a buffer of 5.
So I have to watch Skinamarink, and if I'm right, Josiah has to watch Skinamarink again.
I was gonna say Argyle, but
I'll take that because I know I'm right.
I'm not part of this thing. So
Mom's probably at work right now.
Oh yeah, she might be working.
And if she doesn't answer, then I guess all bets are off.
Mom, it's emergency.
Yeah, Mom, pick up the phone now. Honey, what's wrong?
Yeah, it's like do not disturb alert anyway. Yes.
Should I put her on speaker?
Yeah. I think she's working.
Does your dad know?
Our dad's not as good with dates.
He's a very smart guy. But
our mom has no one eyes steel trap of a mind.
If she hasn't answered yet, I don't see her answering. Man.
Hey there.
Mom, hello. We are recording the next week's episode of the Good Chill Hunting podcast, and we wanted to get you on the line because we have a very specific question to ask you. You're on speakerphone right now. Do you remember the month that you developed a kidney stone? And the month and the year specifically?
July. Dad says it's August. 2 years ago.
2023, right?
23.
Are you sure?
Hey, Mom, this is Josiah. Noah and I we have a little friendly wager, and I just won, so we appreciate your time.
I want you to be really certain that it was in July or August of
I
2023.
took the bet because I knew.
Yeah. It was.
You're sure it wasn't like 6 months after I had mine?
No, idiot.
Okay.
Your brother's so much smarter than you.
No, I'm not. See, I lost the bet, so I'm not very happy right now. So, yeah.
And I'm happy too.
Riley says he's happy as well. He doesn't get anything from this. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for your participation.
Thanks, Mom.
Bye. Love you.
Goodbye.
Bye, Mom.
You want to get the timer going again? Yeah. So anyway, don't make bets that you can't pay out on.
See, Josiah's a big old dumb because he didn't put a time restriction on this.
I said next week. I did say that.
He's really smart.
I'm the smartest one at this table. Did you? I said that. I said next.
Well, there's
next
tape
week.
recording, so
Yeah, we got it. We got it all on 4K.
If you guys wouldn't mind, I'm just gonna go cry for a couple minutes.
you put the calculator on.
What was the number?
125.
120 plus 5.
It's 185 minus 60.
Oh my gosh. We're falling apart here.
Anyway, this is a movie podcast.
We gotta regroup.
You're watching Skinamarink.
No, I was watching Skinamarink. Yeah, great. Very good.
That was the most authentic thing we've ever done on the podcast.
Yeah. Money shot. Okay. So to kind of ride the coattails of our conversation about Skinamarink, like we said, Skinamarink is a very polarizing movie. I feel like most people don't love it, but a lot of people really like it. And so you got people on both ends of the spectrum. And so I scoured the internet, read a few lists, and I just have a list of other polarizing movies. Movies that people might find themselves in the middle of, but you're going to think that people either love them or they hate them.
I know one.
What's that?
The Last Jedi.
That is on my list.
Yep.
Yep. What do you think of The Last Jedi?
I remember early on I didn't like it, but that movie has grown a lot on me. I tend to like that movie more than I dislike it. I do think the Canto Bite stuff is some of the worst in Star Wars.
I feel like it got better after Episode 9 came out.
Yes. Episode 9 sucks.
Because Episode 9.
In comparison.
Yeah.
For sure.
Watchmen. A lot of Zack Snyder movies, actually.
Oh, yeah. There's
Sucker
a
Punch.
cult of Zack
Man
Snyder.
of Steel. Justice League. Did he do Batman v Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on my list. A lot of Zack Snyder. A lot of people. But Watchmen, I really like.
I've only seen it once.
I've seen it.
And I think I
At least
watched the
twice.
extended edition. Because Zack Snyder, all of his movies have like extended editions. And I remember watching that in high school because Josiah's like, yo, you gotta check this movie out. I'm like, why is your voice so high? And I remember watching it. The extended edition specifically has like weird like comic book bits. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I did not like it. It was fine.
I think you would like it on a rewatch.
Maybe.
I have it on
You like
Blu-ray.
Rorschach.
I like Rorschach. I like
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan
comedian?
is a sociopath.
It's just an interesting world, I think. There's a lot of like kind of
I hear the TV show's
politics.
really good.
I really like, I don't know. Yeah, I think Rorschach is just a cool character. Speed Racer.
That's the
I have
Wachowskis.
no desire to see that movie. And a lot of
Well,
people,
I feel like, that's come up on, it did really poorly, but now it's got like a cult
Yeah.
following.
yeah, and so I think it was ahead of its time for like its
For
visuals.
what reasons? Yeah.
I think it's just visually, I mean, similar to The Matrix, I would say, in a sense of just a very, I don't know, like intense, colorful visuals and stuff. And if you're into that, then it's great. And if not, then
Did you say ahead of its time? Did
yeah.
you say that? Yeah, that. So.
Say that again?
I said it was fantastic. Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. That come up again. I think that really
Have you
was a
seen it?
product of its time.
I've seen it, but
It was. There's a few horror movies on here, and Blair Witch Project was one of them. Movies that I think do what they do really well.
I think when, like, back in October when we watched Blair Witch Project, when we talked about that, again, imagine that learning more about the movie can make you appreciate it more, and how these three actors are like improving essentially the whole thing.
yeah.
I think that's really cool. I like
The production is almost more fascinating, or like everything behind the scenes, just like the marketing is almost like more interesting than the movie itself.
Yeah, well, it's just the whole zeitgeist. Like the Blair Witch Project as a movie is one thing, but the Blair Witch Project as a
Cultural
project, yeah, it's just impact on film, yeah, and horror movies is it's a very cool piece of history.
Someone's one of the Letterboxd reviews for Skinamarink was, imagine the final shot of Blair Witch Project for an hour and 40 minutes.
Which is funny because the last shot is the worst shot of the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, yes.
But yeah, those sort of
paranormal
really slow burn.
Well, Paranormal Activity, I feel like very much is, when it came out, it was all word of mouth of people being like, scariest movie of all time. But now that we're a little more removed from it, you can watch it and be like, the sheet moving a quarter inch is not actually scary.
The ceiling is not actually scary.
Are you talking about Paranormal Activity or are you talking about Skinamarink?
Skinamarink.
Is that black mold? Yo, that's a silent killer. It's horrifying. Napoleon Dynamite.
You guys love this
Who
movie.
doesn't like Napoleon Dynamite?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it.
You've never seen it,
but everyone that I've ever talked to that has seen it is entertained by it. Maybe they don't love it.
That's not. I know people who don't like it.
Me and Josiah run with very different crowds. Josiah has all of his Air Force buddies.
I'm a bad boy. And I think people, I don't know. It's just a very, I don't know if quirky is the right word, but it's just like small. It's not even in the Midwest, but it's got like a strong Midwest vibes. Small town.
You've gone on the record,
grassroots.
and I meant to bring this up when I watched it a couple months ago, but you've gone on the record to say you don't necessarily like slice of life, like there's no plot in these movies. But Napoleon Dynamite is very much a movie that is not plot heavy at all.
When did I go on the record to say that?
Riley, you're really good at digging up specific.
That's against you.
Josiah's my boy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, I probably have said that.
That was episode 22, so.
That'd be funny if you're right.
Crazy.
About 39 minutes into the
I mean, I
recording,
probably have said that. I don't know if I would stand by that.
You want to make a bet?
Yeah.
Hey, Mom. No, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Napoleon Dynamite is definitely slice of life.
So
I think when it's done well, it's good, but when it's done poorly, it's not.
Sure.
Right. The Road. Have you seen The Road?
That's with Viggo Mortensen.
The Road is my dad's single least
We
favorite
watched that
movie
in
of
high
all
school with our
time.
dad. And
I
our
read
dad,
the book.
Like,
I read the
like,
book for English class.
his soul left his body. He was
And
like,
so
"My
we found the
sons."
DVD and we're like, Dad, movie night. And he's like, I've never heard of this movie, but.
He's like, yo, it's that post-apocalyptic? Yo, is he carrying a gun? This is probably going to be an action movie.
And there's the scene in The Road where they stumble across a cellar. The father and son duo, they go into the cellar and there's just a bunch of humans that are tied up because they're being held captive to be eaten later.
Oh, man.
I did
That
not
left such an impression on Dad.
I did not internalize that at the time.
Yeah, no, of
I
course
didn't
not.
think about it. I was just like,
We were like,
that's kind of weird.
We were like, so is this post-apocalyptic setting from like a nuclear holocaust or like zombies?
It's like more like Fallout or more like Blade Runner.
But Dad was just like the humanity.
Yeah.
He'll to this day he'll be like, I remember watching that movie. I remember feeling such an empty feeling in my stomach when that scene came on. And me and Josiah, we're just like, this movie's setting is pretty baller.
Hey, was that a M1 Grand that he's carrying around? Yeah, you've not seen it.
Nope.
Yeah, I would.
Is it based off a book or something?
Cormac McCarthy. But
Yeah.
I had to read the book for one of the classes in English in high school, and I wanted to watch a movie in turn.
Yeah.
But that movie's polarizing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, some people are going to hate it for the reasons Dad hated it, of just dread and hopelessness, and some people are going to love it because it can evoke such a strong emotion. That must mean it's a well-crafted movie.
Yeah.
I
think that's the same with Prisoners. I know some people don't like that movie because of the subject material, but it's
That's fair.
Well-crafted movie.
Let's see, Donnie Darko.
Our friend Jacob said that's his single least favorite movie of all time.
Really?
And that's my brother-in-law's favorite movie of all
Really?
time.
Wow.
Yeah. There we go. We got it.
Okay.
We found one.
Polarizing.
Yep.
Check.
I watched that in high school.
I did too, and
And
I
I
remember
didn't understand it.
I didn't like it at all.
I would like to rewatch it. It might be on my watch list.
I don't care to watch it again. I just remember thinking it was just not good.
Yeah, but that was in high school.
I haven't changed at all since high school.
I hope not. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these I haven't seen. Prometheus, I know that's a really polarizing one.
I do not like Prometheus or Alien Covenant because it's a prequel to the Alien series that Ridley Scott made.
Right.
And maybe I need to rewatch it. I think there's some aspects that are good about the movie, like Michael Fassbender's David. He's really
Isn't
good.
he a robot or
Yeah.
android? Or
He's really good.
is that a spoiler?
No.
Oh, okay.
But there's really no, I don't know, this spoiler, especially in like Prometheus. If you're looking for xenomorphs, there's really none. So
Is Prometheus divisive because it does things kind of like The Last Jedi, where it does things that a lot of the audience thought like that character shouldn't have done that. They should have done this.
yeah, I think people don't like it because it over-explains the xenomorphs. Kind of like you have the mystery of what they are.
Like midi-chlorians?
Yeah, kind of like that, I believe. So
That's
Yeah.
a really fair criticism.
I had a friend though who did a really good video essay on YouTube that involved Prometheus, and I was like, that was. I mean, he had made it sound like it was at least worth checking out.
yeah, I mean, yeah, give it a watch.
Jojo Rabbit.
That's polarizing.
It's
Yeah.
polarizing
I think
because
because
I think some people are
subject matter-
unable to
That
see that it's a satire.
That Taika Waititi is playing Hitler.
Yeah,
like,
they're-
in a-
we're-
Just
There
even
are-
the Hitler youth and the Nazi, just being able to do anything comedic with
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
has been
we're-
bad taste, which is not an unfair statement, but
Yeah, some people just see that as
I mean, if
crossing the line
If
with
you
making your jokes.
or like you can't not support or you can't somehow not identify with their ideals if you
Or it's like
represent
any
them.
any comedic portrayal of Hitler is automatically supporting him.
Yeah. Which I don't agree with.
Yeah,
I can sympathize with that.
I think the movie has some really good messages. So
Yeah, I
really
agree.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
yeah,
What was it? The Passion of the Christ.
Jacob hates that movie too.
I would like to never watch that movie. We
Yeah.
watched it in sixth grade youth group.
Yeah, youth
Yeah.
group is like, they're like, this is exactly how it happened.
You guys have been baptized with the Holy Spirit. Now you will be baptized.
With Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
which he's saying he's making a second one.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy.
Yeah. It's like resurrection. It's like
Yeah.
literally, but it's like so many more
And
fictional elements.
Jim Caviezel's coming back. I heard.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. But yeah, the Passion of the Christ. I mean, as we all know, like that was until Joker, like the highest grossing R-rated movie
Yeah.
of all time. It's like people were watching this movie, and so many people were like loving it and supporting it, and I can understand that. But at the same
I think
time,
a lot of Christians were very proud to profess their love for it. I think without going into it with an like analytical perspective of like what's fictional here, what's not, like
or
how
just like what does it even mean to represent what
Jesus on film.
Jesus on film? Yeah, what we would Christians believers would call just like the climactic moment of all of history, all of time. It's like to portray that. Can you do that justice? Can you represent that? Like, is that idolatry? Is that?
And I think a lot of you have to really examine the motives behind Mel Gibson. Was he doing this because he is a believer, but was he doing this to try to grow the faith, or was he like, I can make money on this?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. The sequel maybe.
About making money.
I don't think we have to speculate.
I mean, I'm sorry, Mel Gibson, your house burnt down, but you don't have to make money on it.
Yeah. One or two more here. Polar Express.
I think I gave it 3.5 stars, and then I bumped it down to 3.
I think
because
so. I think I did that as well.
there are a lot of charming elements, but the uncanny valleyness of the motion capture is kind of gives you the ick.
I watched that a lot growing up, and I have no desire to go back.
And I thought about it. Those elves are the single worst representation of elves. Like, they are just, they seem like villains.
Yeah, they do.
They're bad guys.
Trust me.
Yeah, like, why does he
Like,
say
why
it like
would
that?
I trust you? You're horrified.
What about your presentation right now makes me trust you? Yeah, I don't want to rewatch. And there's Billy the Kid. We support Billy
when no one else would. Yeah, I like Polar Express. I would support it. Let's see. One of the last ones here, Eraserhead. That's on my watch list. I'll watch that sometime. I think that's a pretty understandably polarizing film.
That's David Lynch.
Yeah, it's like one of his first films.
What? I don't really know much
It's
about
just
it.
like a surrealist. I would watch. I don't know if I'd like it.
Plot heavy.
I feel like I've heard of like a lot of David Lynch films are kind of polarizing. I feel
Yeah,
like
I've not seen any.
with like a general audience or
Yeah, he's a very I've heard that. Yeah, we'll call that there. What polarizing films did we miss? Films that people either love or they hate. Let us know in the comments.
I'm trying to think of any more off the top of my head.
I mean, there's a few others that I wrote down. Clockwork Orange, Mother, a lot of Darren Aronofsky.
Mother, yeah, that's a big one.
Forrest Gump. A lot of people don't like Forrest Gump. I don't
Why?
know. You look it up for yourself.
Trying too hard.
Some Marvel movies,
Is it-
Eternals.
It's representation of people on the spectrum, maybe.
I don't know.
Eternals was a bad movie.
Tree of Life.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like the worst MCU movie.
it's
though.
not the worst, but it's such a far cry from any other Marvel movie.
It's totally forgotten.
Yeah, but some people like that.
Yeah.
People support it because it's so different. You're playing into the bit.
All right. I totally forgot that Noah was doing villains trivia at the end of the episode. Totally forgot about that. Because we're doing best villain bracket.
It's actually really funny that we're doing this because I had the idea originally. I was like, what's a good bracket idea? We could do like movie villains.
Sounds like you studied then a little bit.
I totally forgot though.
That's true.
The villains. But
It's like that was totally
I
serendipitous.
excluded Joker. I took executive decision because I feel like Joker
Yeah.
might be our favorites.
Yeah, no,
I don't want
Did
a
you
clear.
Did you exclude Davy Jones?
Well, is that gonna be?
It might be an easy win.
No, I'm open
Okay.
to seeing what happens.
Is Dr. Facilier on there? From The Princess and the Frog?
Is Captain Barbosa on there?
I forgot about that.
What about Feathers McGraw?
I forgot about Feathers McGraw.
No, okay, yeah. Let's see what you got.
I did a lot of research seeing like what villains I forgot, so I definitely
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of villains out there.
actually okay, executive decision.
No, don't change
Okay.
anything. Don't change anything.
Yzma from Emperor's New Groove versus Magneto.
Oh, the lava crunk. I would say Magneto.
Yeah,
More staying power.
Is Kronk on the list?
Yzma's a one-trick pony.
Kronk, I don't see him as a
Not really
villain.
Yeah.
He's the
I
villain's
think-
sidekick.
He's an
I think Magneto might be my favorite Marvel villain, especially after watching X-Men 97. He's
so we're not
good.
speaking of like specific iterations. It's just any
Yeah.
version of Magneto.
Cersei Lannister versus King Bradley.
King Bradley's way. I do not like Cersei. There's a lot of characters in Game of Thrones that you like love to hate, but I just don't like Cersei Lannister.
I like King.
And she's not a good person. King Bradley's not a good person either.
These are villains. They're not good people.
I'm just like, that's the point. I'm just like, when do they? Get...
Where's the redemption arc?
Lotso the Bear versus Doctor Doom.
Lotso.
Welcome to Sunnyside Daycare.
You picking Lotso?
Preschool room.
Dr. Doom. I feel like once we see him in the MCU, he'll become a more interesting villain, but until then.
Homelander from The Boys versus General Hummel from The Rock.
Oh.
I cannot give that order.
We bluffed. They called it.
Ed Harris, one of the best action villains I think of all time.
But I would say Homelander.
Yeah, Homelander.
I don't support the boys. They go places I don't think TV
Well,
shows
it's
should go.
I guess
But a well-written villain.
how we're casting our vote. Is it villains that we like or villains that we love to hate?
This is the
or
best
villains that we just
villain.
hate?
It's up to
This is
you.
best
I'm
villain.
not okay. I would not vote for Homelander
I would
because I
vote.
don't like Homelander.
But I think
I think that makes him a better villain.
yeah, I am terrified when he's on screen because you don't know what he's gonna do.
I don't like Homelander.
I say Homelander.
Okay, I mean, yeah. Okay.
The elusive man from Mass Effect,
Shepard
Is that a question?
from Mass Effect.
and then Death from Puss in Boots.
Oh, Death. Are you kidding me?
The Elusive Man is cool, but I like the Reapers more than him. I like the Geth more than him. And Death is a very cool villain.
August Walker, aka John Walker from Mission Impossible Fallout, Henry Cavill versus Pennywise.
I thought when you said John Walker, I thought of
Yeah.
Thunderbolts. Pennywise?
Yeah.
Hiya, Georgie.
Why'd you have to make things so complicated?
So freaking complicated. I like Henry Cavill as that John Walker. So he gets my vote.
I'll go Pennywise.
I would also go with August Walker.
August is a really cool name, isn't it?
So a 2025 release. Wait, scratch that.
2005.
Ramsey Bolton versus Darth Vader.
Ramsey Bolton. Isn't he the one that makes the one guy cut off his own
Yeah.
wiener? That's
Makes
tough.
him a eunuch. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I would pick Darth Vader.
Do not Ramsey Bolton. I don't like him. Yeah, I would cast
That's
my
tough
vote as Darth
because at
Vader.
that point he is but at that point he's just kind of like a psychopath, and that's not necessarily a more compelling villain. That's just like sadistic. I'd say Darth Vader.
Syndrome from The Incredibles versus Baron Vladimir Harkonnen from Dune. Stellan Skarsgård.
Syndrome.
I'll put Syndrome.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to vote for Mr. Harkonnen.
Just my syndrome.
Oh, you're listening to that Dune, aren't you?
I am.
How's that going?
I'm about halfway.
That's what you said last week.
I haven't listened to it any more longer. Voldemort versus Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter.
I'm only 2 movies into Harry Potter,
I'm
and
gonna put-
no doubt Voldemort becomes more
I'm gonna say Voldemort.
threatening
Yeah.
as the series goes on. But I don't know, Tom Riddle, just like I gotta commit genocide. I guess that is kind of
You
threatening.
doing Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah, who do you vote for?
Voldemort.
Okay.
Okay.
Bowser versus Thanos.
Thanos.
Bowser's just never been too
Beaches.
intimidating.
Beaches.
Annie Wilkes, Paul Sheldon versus Calvin Candy from Django Unchained.
Ooh. Killer matchup. I got to go Annie Wilkes.
I would say Annie.
Really?
She's a great villain.
I mean, Calvin Candy's great, but
yeah.
Annie Wilkes is
it depends
super-
on the day, but I would
Yeah.
Annie Wilkes get my vote.
Lord Ozai from Avatar: Last Airbender versus Sylar from Heroes.
Cut to 2005. Noah and Josiah are playing with Riley after church, and Riley just gets to watch all the adult shows. Riley's watching Heroes, and Riley comes up to Noah and I. He's just starts doing this to our foreheads. And Noah and I are just like,
We're like,
we don't know what you're doing. And in actuality, Riley's trying to cut our heads open
so
to
we can
study our brains.
steal our powers.
He was a scary villain. Season 1, like absolutely frightening.
And then doesn't he become a good guy at one point?
That show sucked after season 1.
Jump the shark.
Yeah.
Who was it? Ozai?
Yeah,
Ozai.
Lord Ozai. No Country for Old Men. Anton.
Chekhov?
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
Anton
Yeah.
Shurkin.
It starts with a Y. Anyway.
No, it starts with a C because that was going to be one of my trivia questions. Thankfully, it's not. But it was going to be what was his name, and so
Versus Andrew Ryan from BioShock.
I'm
Anton
Andrew Ryan. And I told Riley yesterday, I was like, I need to rewatch No Country for
Anton
Old Men. I bet you
Shiger.
I will rate that highly.
I rewatched the scene just earlier today of the gas station.
Yeah.
So you've ever lost in a coin toss? Amazing. It's so good.
We all need to watch No Country for Old Men.
Hans Gruber from Die Hard versus Loki.
Loki. I don't care for Die Hard.
I
like Loki.
Die Hard's good. I have to rewatch.
I like Loki in the show, but at that point, he's
Rude.
not really a villain anymore.
John Doe from Seven versus Dr. Robotnik.
John Doe.
John Doe.
Yeah, John Doe.
Detective.
Azula versus the Reverse Flash.
My name is Eobard Thawne.
It was me, Barry.
I put Azula.
Riley's like, I
Azula.
guess we're writing Azula down.
Emperor Palpatine versus Kingpin.
You embarrassed me in front of Vanessa. I don't know. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is pretty.
Yeah.
I don't even watch the show.
Did you finish Daredevil Reborn
Yeah.
or Born Again?
Yeah.
How was it?
I think.
No, please do not talk about TV
Okay,
shows.
sorry. Probably Emperor Palpatine. What do you guys think?
I'll take Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Palpatine has never been that interesting of a villain.
Well, he
Especially
came back in episode 9.
somehow.
Agent Smith versus Gollum. Agent Smith from Matrix.
Gollum.
I hate this place. Agent Smith.
Agent Smith.
I thought we liked Lord of the Rings on this podcast.
We do.
We do, but Gollum is kind of.
We also
kind of
really
an
like
anti-hero.
Matrix, excluding you.
Welcome back to the Noah podcast. Today we're going to be
How do you
talking
like
about our
them
favorite
Noahs?
Lord of the Rings movies.
Davy Jones versus Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad.
Gustavo. I had to do it. It was right there. David Jones.
David Jones.
Who was that? Is that Giancarlo Esposito's
Yeah.
character?
He's really good. That was my pick. Amy Dunn from Gone Girl versus Voss Montenegro from Far Cry 3.
I don't really have a dog in either of those.
What is the definition of insanity?
I vote the Gone Girl.
Amy Dunn?
Yeah.
Saw that in theaters.
Voss is really good, though. Sauron from Lord of the Rings versus Lex Luthor.
If it's Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
I feel like
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. In Lord of the Rings, I feel like the real villains are the villains, the enemies you made along the way. I just feel like Sauron as a, he's a compelling force, but you don't really see him.
It was a very
that way.
intentional decision to not embody him at all.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Wait, who's the other one?
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, yeah, for
let's
sure.
go with Lex Luthor. 'cause
Gene
we like-
Hackman's Lex Luthor. He's interesting.
Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And welcome to my house party. I would not want to fight this guy.
A 2025 villain, Remick from Sinners.
Is that the
Jack O'Connell
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he singing?
versus Feathers McGraw.
Oh.
I don't know the
Riley,
first guy.
you did get him on the list. You son of a gun. Feathers McGraw.
Feathers McGraw is great.
But Remick, he's got an Irish accent. and
Remick
he
is
sings.
really good.
That's just a statement about him.
Yeah. Precisely.
He is about 5 foot.
Cruella DeVille versus the High Evolutionary from Guardians
High
of the Galaxy.
evolutionary. Is a
There
very
is no
cool-
God. That's why I stepped in.
He's a very cool villain.
Doc Ock versus Green Goblin.
Doc Ock is cooler than Green Goblin.
I say Green Goblin.
Well, you know what I say. Godspeed, Spider-Man. More fun quote. You can't do this to me. Don't you know how much I sacrificed?
I'm something of a
He's-
scientist
what
myself.
does he say? He's like, all the power, or not? I forget what he says, but it's really good. And
Yeah.
no one
Doc
hung
Ock's like, hello, Peter.
Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco and Killmonger.
Killmonger is one of the MCU's better villains. Ernesto de la Cruz is not a good person because he killed the guy. But
These are bad.
I feel like Killmonger is almost like a redeemed, like, not that he got redemption, but
you can understand. his
he's more
fight.
sympathetic.
Yeah, Killmonger.
Oh, that means that you would choose for him. I was going to say that makes him less of a
Okay.
compelling or a threatening villain. But we'll go with Killmonger.
Okay.
That's
He's
cool.
very threatening and compelling and sympathetic.
Ultron.
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 That's what I'm trying to say. Joffrey Baratheon from Game of Thrones.
Is that the prince?
It's the kid. Yeah, the kid.
Joffrey's like,
Don't like him.
Mr. Electric, make him go to the principal's office and have him expelled. Have you seen that clip?
No.
From Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yeah.
That's not him.
No, it's not. That was a joke.
Oh.
That kid's next.
He's the one in.
I'm just kidding.
Spoiler. Who's the first one?
Ultron.
Ultron.
I would say Joffrey.
I'll say Joffrey.
Ultron.
I'd-
What has he done?
There's no
He's a very
strings
menacing
on me.
force.
Not really.
Uh,
His age lasted like 2 weeks.
Scar from Lion King and then Bane.
Bane
Just
from the
any-
comics.
Bane from Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. His character design is
The
really cool.
Bru-
Are we picking him? Bane.
Bane. I'm picking Bane.
That's what we vote for.
Who's the person from Princess and the Frog?
What are you filling in now?
What's the person's
It's
name?
Dr. Facilier.
Dr. Facilier versus Michael Myers.
What are
You just didn't know how to pronounce it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Dr. Factorier versus Michael Myers. Dr. Facilier.
Facilier.
He is the Shadow Man.
And voiced by Keith David.
I don't know if I spelled that right. Hans Landa
Just-
versus General Grievous.
What was
General
the first one?
Grievous.
Hans Landa from Inglourious Bastards.
You picked General Grievous.
General Grievous is one of the coolest Star Wars characters.
coolest character design characters.
I tried to clarify voting criteria at the beginning of this, and it seems
Hans
like we were
Landa.
just kind of
Hans
picking our
Landa.
favorite.
You know how
This is the best villain.
you know how in Skinamarink when the adults are talking and it kind of sounds like the adults in Charlie Brown. That's just
I'm gonna get that reference next week.
Patrick Bateman versus the White Witch.
The White Witch.
Paul Allen.
You picking Patrick Bateman?
No,
Oh, wait,
White Witch.
Patrick Bateman. I was thinking of.
You're thinking of Patrick Gates from National Treasure.
No, I was thinking of. What's the guy from Psycho?
Norman Bates.
Norman Bates. That's what I was thinking.
He's American Psycho.
Sheen, Lord Sheen from Kung Fu Panda 2, right?
Shen.
Lord Shen versus Professor Moriarty from.
You picked the villain from Kung Fu Panda 2?
I looked up what's the best Kung Fu Panda villain. They said, is that the best one?
I don't know. Not the most.
Tai Lung is
familiar
pretty
one.
cool, but a lot of people do like Lord Shen.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. I knew you guys like that movies. So
I like the song at the end of that movie. Wait, who's the other one?
Professor Moriarty.
Moriarty.
I
I got to rewatch Game of Shadows.
Imagine a really good movie.
The Spot from Across the Spider-Verse versus the Trinity Killer from Dexter. That's John Lithgow, which you guys haven't seen.
I just think that's so interesting.
He's really good. A really good villain.
I believe you. The Spot, but the Spot's
The
really
Spot's
good too.
great. Jason Schwartzman.
Okay.
Perfect casting.
Magneto versus King Bradley. Back at the top.
King Bradley.
Magneto. He's just trying to help mutants. Kinda like
King
the good
Bradley's just trying to help himself.
King Bradley.
Yeah. I thought we were trying to go for better villains here.
Lotso
Depends
versus
on-
He has nothing
Homelander.
to say.
Lotso versus Homelander. I pick Homelander.
In a fight, lots of
Homelander. Which one? It smells like strawberries.
I pick Lotso Huggenbear.
Death versus Henry Cavill's John Walker, aka August Walker.
Death.
Sorry, Death.
Yeah.
Death from Puss in Boots.
Even though Jack Horner's really the main villain of that movie, but the Death is cool.
I would vote for Jack Horner.
Darth Vader versus Syndrome. I would pick Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Voldemort versus Thanos.
Thanos.
Perfectly balanced, as all things.
Annie Woke versus Lord Ozai.
Amy. Or Anne.
Annie Wilkes is my
Okay.
vote. Firelord Ozai is a cool villain, but he's not the coolest villain.
He's a cool in the final battle.
Anton Chigurh. Is that his name?
Sugar, it looks like.
Chigurh. Anton Chigurh, yeah, versus Loki.
Cool villains. I think Loki's cooler as a protagonist than he is as a villain. So I'd vote Anton.
We're
Chigurh.
really hyping up. Like, I hope that No Country for Old Men is a 5-star movie when I watch it.
John
I think
Doe.
it might be,
But it's kind of like ambiguous. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. I remember it's like it doesn't.
kind of like
and in a way that-
Inside Llewyn Davis.
John Doe versus Azula.
The main character's name is Llewellyn. They have very similar names. What was it?
John Doe versus Azula.
I think I got
Azula.
Azula, yeah.
She's a compelling villain.
Kingpin versus Agent Smith.
I hate this place.
Yeah, you already said that.
You embarrassed me in front of Vanessa.
already said that.
Agent Smith.
They both have one quote. I would vote Kingpin.
I gotta pick Kingpin.
Oh, what?
It's Kingpin. I think he is a better villain throughout. I just feel like Agent Smith is good in the first movie.
Did you see Kingpin in the Hawkeye TV series?
Shut up.
Virus. That's my Hugo Weaving.
Davy Jones versus Amy Dunn.
Do you fear death, Captain?
Lex Luthor versus Feathers McGraw.
Feathers McGraw.
There's McGraw. Man,
He would win in a
Man doesn't
fight.
have to say a single word, and he takes over the small English town of Yorkshire.
High Evolutionary versus the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin.
Basically,
say
this is
High Evolutionary.
boiling down to who has more fun quotes or more quotes that are fun. to say.
Killmonger versus Joffrey Baratheon.
Killmonger.
Joffrey.
I'll pick Joffrey.
That's wild that you guys are.
We're just picking
Best
the one
villain.
that you don't pick.
Bane versus Dr. Facilier.
Dr.
You said Bane? Dr. Facilier.
Dr.
for sure.
Facilier.
Yeah, they got to do more with him.
Hans
I'll tell you,
Wanda.
if they had a Kingdom Hearts level,
I was thinking if they call it the Bayou.
no, it would be
You can't-
haunted by you.
Why?
I said that in my Letterboxd review back in July because
really?
that it has an ad you just the Bayou, haunted by you because there's a spiritual element to it, supernatural element.
I mean, I too was thinking of this Kingdom Hearts level.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Who would be the team up would be Lewis the Crocodile.
We'll hash out the details.
Hans Landa versus the White Witch.
Hans Landa.
Hans Landa. That's a bingo.
The White Witch.
That's a doozy.
Professor Moriarty versus the Spot.
I like the Spot. I vote him.
I'd say the Spot. Because that hits the spot.
King Bradley versus Homelander.
King Bradley.
Homelander.
Death versus Darth Vader.
Davy Vader.
Death versus
Yeah.
Death from Puss in Boots versus Darth Vader.
I mean,
Which one is more iconic? Darth Vader. Which one is cooler?
Darth Vader is cool. I think he's a little overdone, but you can't forget that he started out pretty cool.
He's never been the coolest Sith.
Yeah.
Who's the coolest Sith?
Darth Maul. Well, General Grievous is not a Sith, but he's cool. Darth Maul. I like Count Dooku more than Darth Vader.
Oh, including Clone Wars TV show?
Yeah.
What about the Legends universe?
I say Death.
I vote Darth Vader.
I'm just going to say it. I'll say it.
That's so tough.
I was like, give me 5. I got to think about this one.
I'm going to go with Darth Vader.
That's fair.
Wow.
I respect that.
Thanos versus Annie Wilkes.
Man, at this point, it's hard to not kind of, even though I just did not do this for the last one, it's hard to not vote in favor of just the bigger villain.
Yeah.
Thanos means a lot more to a lot more people, but Annie is...
Yeah, you know what?
Annie makes Misery as good of a movie as.
I'll stick with that. I'll go stick with Misery. What do they call her? The Dragon Lady? The Dragon something. Dragon.
Anton from No Country for Old Men versus Azula. What?
Nothing.
What did I do?
No, you didn't do anything. Sorry, keep going.
Anton versus Azula.
Azula.
I put Azula.
You'll find out. You'll find out here in about 10 minutes.
Kingpin versus Davy Jones.
Davy Jones.
Dave Jones.
I would say Kingpin.
I can't tell you. No. I can't tell you. We just have to power through here, okay?
This is a great bracket. We're having a lot of fun.
This is the best podcast episode we've ever had.
Feathers McGraw versus Green Goblin.
Feathers
Feathers
McGraw.
Really?
I love him.
Yeah.
Great character
He's
design.
sitting right there.
He's gonna win the whole thing. Joffrey Baratheon versus Dr. Facilier.
Dr. Facilier.
Joffrey.
Just to switch it up, I'll say Joffrey. I think he is a strong villain.
And you were so happy when he died. Hans Landa versus the Spot.
Hans Landa.
I like the Spot. I haven't seen Inglourious Bastards in a long time.
Landa. Come on. He's the
Come
best.
on, da.
Homelander versus Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. I've not voted for Homelander yet. I'm not going to start now.
Homelander.
I'm going to pick Homelander. I think he's just a better villain. Annie Wilkes versus Azula. I'm going to say Azula.
At that point, I'm going to say Azula. She's like one of the main
I'd probably still
compelling
vote Annie
villains.
Wilkes.
Davy Jones versus Feathers McGraw. Feathers McGraw.
Oh, wow.
Davy Jones.
Davy Jones. Coolest. They both have great character design. Davy Jones is better.
Joffrey
Great
Baratheon
CGI from
versus Hans Landa. Hans Landa.
Hans Landa.
Yes.
You are harboring enemies of the state.
Final four, Homelander versus Azula.
Azula?
I am once again not going to vote for Homelander.
Well, actually,
I
who
like
are you
Azula.
voting for? You're going to vote for Homelander.
I don't know. I keep thinking back at Azula when she's like tied up and she's like breathing fire from her mouth. It's so good. And
She's very manipulative. She's very cunning.
and she just wants to like please her father.
What's the line when she
They both have daddy issues.
she attacks them from the one air temple. She's like, "I'm celebrating becoming an only child."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very cool line.
Yeah, I'll say Azula.
Okay. Azula. Davy Jones versus Hans Landa. This is an easy one for me. Hans Landa.
Davy Jones.
Welcome back to the Good Gelati ASMR. Today we are doing our ASMR Davy Jones. Do you fear death? Davy Jones. What did I say? He's the coolest looking villain.
This isn't the coolest looking. This is the best villains. What does he do in the third movie?
He stands in a bucket of water.
Yeah, exactly. Azula, the championship is Azula versus Davy Jones. And I'm going to say Azula.
I want to say Davy Jones. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, obviously I'm going to say Davy Jones. Why has it always got to come down to me?
I don't know. I guess we were just always against each other.
It's because I hate you.
It's a recurring pattern.
What's he do in the third movie? That's he's so good.
What did I just say?
He's cool. Sure, he gets neutered when his Kraken dies, but
He
he's very
has a relationship
cool.
with
He
Calypso.
fights Jack Sparrow in the Maelstrom.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Walk the plank. Yo ho, shiver me booty.
You guys are blind.
It's a pirate's life for me.
This is a wild.
Okay, we are going to transition into movie villain trivia. Riley, you really screwed this up. So,
The buzzers.
Oh.
I'm just going to say that now. We're going to breeze through this trivia. And that's unfortunate because I worked hard on it. Size 2.
It's really going to be more who's quicker on the draw.
I don't understand.
You mind testing that buzz of yours? All right. Very good. Movie villain trivia. Question number 1. Thanos is arguably the best villain the MCU has ever had and possibly ever will have. Starring in 5 total movies, these films were his first and final appearances. Riley.
The Avengers and then Avengers Endgame.
That is correct. Question number 2. John Doe reveals himself to be the serial killer Mills and Somerset are searching for after entering the police station and shouting this word to get their attention. Just like, detective! That's correct.
This is no the entire bracket.
Question number 3. Known for his villainous roles, Gary Oldman once lent his voice talent to this movie where he portrayed a warmonger intent on ending the era of martial arts. Riley.
Kung Fu Panda 2?
That's correct. Question number 4. The Matrix is apparently better than a 3-star film, and Agent Smith is apparently an awesome villain, with Hugo Weaving starring in the role across this many films. Riley.
3.
That's correct.
It's not 4. He's not in the...
No.
He's not in the last one.
Nope.
All right, you win.
Wait. That was 5?
That was 3 correct for Riley,
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yep.
Oh.
which is fascinating.
I just-
we're about to...
Dragon Lady.
Let me read what I wrote. Annie Wilkes serves as one of cinema's defining... Paul Sheldon discovers
Wait. Sorry, the mics just stopped recording.
You already stole my thunder, and now you're stealing my thunder a second time.
Me. Nope, that's not working. Well, we're pretty much at the end of the episode. Can we just kind of, we just use the audio from the...
Annie Wilkes serves as one of cinema's defining nurses. Paul Sheldon discovers that she earned this nickname after it came to light that she intentionally caused the death of many of her patients, as well as having a fiery personality and for being an overall dirty birdie. Josiah already got buzzed in early.
You didn't read the question yet.
You already won! Okay, the Dragon Lady. I thought that was going to be a real deep cut. Apparently not. Bonus question. I'll shout for the phone. Everyone loves Dick Van Dyke's portrayal of old man veteran night guard Cecil in Night at the Museum, and I'm sure many will gather in celebration on December 13th later this year when the legendary actor turns this age, Josiah.
100.
That is correct.
Yeah, the man
He is going to be a century old.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks
Can you
for
hear
coming.
the train and through the open window? I'm shouting. I probably don't have to shout.
Boo, Davy Jones.
This was a good episode. Give us a thumbs up for a lot of podcasts firsts.
Comment your villain.
These mics are going to end up being working the whole time.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye.